Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning. We will call to order the May 18th, 2026, the Detroit Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. Can I get a roll call, Director?
Board Member Sherman. Board Member Watson.
Here.
Board Member Campbell.
Here.
Board Member Carr. Board Member Weed. Board Member Bowman. Board Member Parker.
Here.
Board Member Osborne. Chairperson Roberts.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you do not have a quorum.
Okay, we will recess until we have a quorum. Okay, we will call back to order the our meeting. Can I get a roll call again, Director?
Board Member Sherman. Board Member Watson.
Here.
Board Member Campbell.
Here.
Board Member Carr. Board Member Weed. Board Member Bowman. Here. Board Member Parker.
Present.
Vice Chair Osborne. Chairperson Roberts.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum?
Are there any procedural matters?
Yes. On Monday, July 13th, we will have our first BZA training of the year, and we will also be bringing back the rules and procedures for a continued discussion and hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes dated April 20th, 2026?
So moved.
Second? And a motion, can I get a second?
Aye. Second.
Okay, moved properly second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carries. Any communications, Director?
No communications,
Any miscellaneous business?
no miscellaneous business.
Okay, we will recess until 9:15 when we hear our first case. You're short up here.
Yeah, that'll do it. Right, but this.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we will call our meeting back to order. And the chair recognizes member, well, let's see, who wasn't here before? Member Osborne. I think everybody else was here. Right, and you call the first case, please?
BZA case 2025-00048. City Council District Number 6. The BZA petitioner is Timothy Flintoff. The owner is Lucas Bondi. The location is 3331 Trumbull between Sycamore and Ash in an SD1 zone, special development, small scale mixed use district. Timothy Flintoff requests dimensional variances for the construction of 5 separate townhouse structures containing a total of 25 units on a 32,240 square foot vacant site, approved with conditions in Building Safety, Engineering and Environmental Department, BC SLU 2025-00047 in an SD1 zone, special development district, small scale mixed use. We will now hear from Inspector Peerpoint.
Thank you, Director. Good morning, board members.
Morning.
We are here today because the board shall be authorized to hear dimensional variance requests for matters that are beyond the scope of the building department's 10% administrative adjustments for variance of the minimum setbacks. Prior to issuance of permits, the following variances will be needed by the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'll outline those at the end of the report. We're here in this case under the legal description attached. Our attorney will assess ownership. The building department's approval effective December 9th, 2025. Letter states, the request is to construct 5 separate townhouse structures containing a total of 25 dwelling units on a 32,240 square foot vacant site. The current legal land use of the above referenced properties are vacant land. The subject property is 32,240 square foot. The proposed development consists of 2 townhouse structures fronting Trumbull, designated as Building A and B, with A to the north and B to the south, each providing 6 dwelling units. 1 townhouse structure fronting Sycamore, designed as Building C, provides 4 dwelling units, and 1 townhouse structure fronting Ash, designated as Building D, provides for 4 dwelling units, and 1 townhouse structure adjacent to the rear alley, designated as Building E, and it provides 5 dwelling units. The proposed units will provide 20% affordable units at 80 of the AMI for the area, which supports making proposed units mixed income. Based on the site plans and other information presented to BC, compliance with the following aspects of the requested use were addressed. BC held a public hearing on November 5th, 2025. In addition to City of Detroit personnel, the participants for the hearing included the architect and 6 residents who spoke in opposition, and no one spoke in support. Preliminary site plans were approved on October 17th, 2025. A letter from PNDD dated November 20th, 2025, recommending approval of the requested use. 10 letters and emails were received in support, and 1 was received in opposition. Upon careful consideration, the applicant and all materials, letters, public comments, and other information presented, BC has made all of the findings under Section 53-281. Therefore, the establishment of the requested use is approved with conditions, provided the required variances are given by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Under condition 5 of the SLU grant, the following variances are required before a building permit is issued. Under section 50-11-245-2B, deficient rear yard setback, Building E, a minimum 10 feet required, 0 feet provided, 10 feet deficient. Section 50-11-245-1B, excessive front yard setback for Building E, 20 feet maximum allowed, 90 feet provided, and exceeds 74 feet. Section 50-13-253-2D, because the front, side, or rear setback of one building may not serve as required front, side, or rear setback of a second building. Section 5013-253-2B, deficient horizontal distance between building A and C to buildings B and D. 40 feet required, 19 feet and 2 inches provided, 2 feet and 10 inches deficient. Section 5013-130, excessive lot coverage, 35% maximum allowed, 46 provided, and exceeds by 11 feet. Again, the petition is before the board for dimensional variances for the construction of 5 separate townhouse structures containing a total of 25 dwelling units on a 32,240 square foot vacant lot, which was approved by BC. Again, the subject property is on Trumbull between Sycamore and Ash. This is a view from Trumbull, looking at the entire frontage of the subject property from Sycamore and Ash. Long view looking down Ash Street, looking to the west. This is a long view again of the frontage of the subject property, looking towards Sycamore Street, looking down Trumbull, looking to the north. This is block opposite on Trumbull and Ash residential property. A view looking down Trumbull, looking to the south. Block opposite on Trumbull. And a view looking down the subject property on the south side, looking down Ash, looking to the west. Again, looking down Ash, looking to the west towards the alley. This is block opposite on Ash, commercial residential properties. This is a view of Sycamore and Trumbull, the far north side of the property. Block opposite on Sycamore is residential properties in Trumbull. A view of the subject property looking from Sycamore towards Ash, looking down Trumbull. Block opposite on Trumbull. And the closest residential behind the subject property, behind the alley on Sycamore. And a view of the subject property looking back up towards Trumbull. And this is block opposite on Sycamore residential property. And that completes the visuals. Again, the buildings A and B are fronted on Trumbull. C and D are towards the alley, going to the west, and building E is also towards the alley, in between C and D. There's a presentation that'll show you better their site plans, and that completes the visuals, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Inspector Fairford. Excuse me. Welcome, Mr. Flintoff. We could please get you to state your name and address, and Inspector will swear you in.
Josh Maddox. That mic is on.
There we go. Josh Maddox is also with me virtually, and he'll be part of the presentation. So if you want to swear him in as well.
Be great.
I'm Timothy Flintoff with 4545 Architecture. My house address is 4545 Commonwealth Street, Detroit.
Mr. You said Clinton?
Maddox.
Oh, Mr. Maddox. Mr. Maddox, if you could please unmute yourself and state your name and address so the inspector can swear you in.
All right. My name is Joshua Maddox, Joshua Maddox. My house address is 265 Horton Street in Detroit, Michigan.
Would you both raise your right hands? Do you affirm your testimony before the board today is true?
I do.
Yes.
Hey, Mr. Flintoff, first thing we need to do is establish standing in the fact that both you folks have the right to speak today on behalf of the property owner. So Attorney Savage is going to establish that for us.
Good morning. Erica Savage on behalf of the Law Department. These questions are designed to assess your standing. Anyone who appears before the City of Board of Zoning Appeals must possess sufficient standing, which means that you either have a legal interest in the property or you're authorized by the property's owner to appear on their behalf. Based on the search of the public records by the Law Department, we discovered for 3331 Trumbull a covenant deed recorded on October 7th, 2022 at Library 57987, page 757. And that deed reflects the owner of the property as 331 Trumbull LLC. Now, I did receive an email, but I have to place these things on the record. How are you affiliated with 331 Trumbull LLC?
We are contracted by 331 Trumbull LLC as the architect for the project.
Okay, and the owner of 3331 Trumbull LLC is who?
Lucas Bondi.
Okay, and I received correspondence from Mr. Bondi stating that he was the sole owner of 3331 Trumbull LLC and that he authorized you to appear here today on his behalf. I don't think his letter referenced the gentleman that's on Zoom,
Probably not. I didn't think that,
but
because Josh is my business partner.
okay, all right. So let me just look at something really quick. Okay, so he's your business partner okay. Well, Mr. Chair, based on the statements placed on the record and the correspondence received from Mr. Lucas Bondi of Bondi's Construction on May 12th, I'm satisfied with this standing to proceed.
Thank you, Attorney Savage. Mr. Flintoff, what brings you before the board today?
Yeah, we're here today to request dimensional variances for a new project on Trumbull. As you can see from the rendering, it's a series of townhouses, and very similar to what was done with the Robertson Brothers homes up on the other side on Scripps Park, being multi-unit, multi-building development with kind of an interior parking consideration to create as much street front as possible and kind of create that continuous street wall element. We did have our special land use hearing last fall, and we did, hear the comments from the community. Originally, we were supposed to present this in February, and we asked for an adjournment to be rescheduled to this date. We had conversations with several members of the community and some of the board members for the North Corktown Neighbor Association. And we really felt it was important to go back to the community one more time based on the feedback we received and some of the negative comments. So specifically because this was a residential project in an SD1. Acknowledging that, we have made changes to the plans and are now including and building a retail component, which would be by right in the SD1. Allowing for 1,500, possibly more square feet. The building is flexible for retail, recognizing that it is an SD1 and that there is a desire for it in the neighborhood. So we really felt that was important. So we went to the community spring meeting in March and presented that. There was still some opposition, but I think generally people appreciated that we were meeting them, part way. We've also made changes to the exterior, changing colors and things from feedback. So people felt that the grays were drab, so we brought some blues and greens in and trying to bring up a little more color into it. And there was one person that brought up opposition because our developer in the past hadn't planted trees. I actually spoke with the developer, and that's a city program that he's part of, so he's kind of at the whim of when the city does that. So it's, we're trying to do our best in the neighborhood. We've done multiple projects here. I'm in Woodbridge. But you can see the site here is just south of MLK on Trumbull. It kind of is in an empty area. It was originally set up as a condo development when it was originally platted and switched to an SD1 quite a while ago. We found the original condo documents for the site condo setup. So this isn't far off from that. This is going to be a rental project. So we were really excited about not necessarily bringing everything for sale, but bringing rental and then bringing some affordability to it with the 20% of the units having an 80% AMI. So you can see on the site here, we have two buildings flanking Trumbull. The building on the left closer to Sycamore, the far left corner has the retail in that darker orange. And then the rest of the yellows are residential and the purples are also residential on the sides to kind of create that strong street wall element. And then we have kind of an interior alley unit just to bring the densification up a little bit. And then, provide a little variety. In the previous site plan, we had the trash can on the other side. When we added commercial, we felt that it was important that there was a separate trash can for the commercial to have their own space. All the residential units will have Corville containers stored in their garages. And the nice thing about this is it's front doors on the street. Everyone walks up to their own unit. So while it's apartments, it's not necessarily a large, dense apartment building. It's bringing everyone with front porches. There's roof decks, there's patios, there's outdoor space. We've got a little courtyard in the middle where we're, for people if they want to have, space. We think it's a really nice project that in an area of Trumbull that you know, could use a nice project to go in there across from the dollar store. There's the empty lot, there's the Goodwill. So the other side is a little more commercial industrial. So we think, you know, this being a rental project is going to be a really nice add. So you can see there on the floor plan, the left side and the red dash is the commercial spaces. That's really flexible. And if we wound up needing one more unit, someone really came in and said they want 4,000 square feet, we're going to do it. We're committing to do fire suppression in that building, so it's going beyond the residential code. So that whole building has the flexibleness of becoming more commercial. And so every unit has, you know, ground floor access, and then first floor or their first floor, second floor would be their residences, their you know, kitchen, dining room, and then third floor bedrooms, and then roof decks or walkout patios. I'm going to let Josh talk about the exterior a little bit. If you could go to one of the exterior views.
He queued you up there, Josh. I don't know if you
Yeah,
heard.
you want to advance one more slide, I believe.
Go ahead.
Hit the exterior view. Sure. So this is a view looking down Trumbull towards the front 6-unit buildings. Architecturally, we're taking some detail cues from some of the existing walk-up residential buildings nearby. So there's a mix of apartment types in North Parktown as it stands, with a lot of kind of simple brick detailing, windows that are symmetrical and stack. And you know, the one thing that we thought was important, again, to reiterate what Tim said, was kind of bringing a front porch element, as well as these forward-facing balconies from the living space to kind of create that street presence. As Tim indicated, you know, if this were a larger apartment building, it would be one, you know, front door lobby, and then everybody's units would be internal. So breaking it up into multiple buildings using the townhouse type kind of keeps that front door presence on the street, which we thought was important. If you move forward one slide, this is an example of one of the side buildings. So this building flanks Ash, and a similar building flanks Sycamore. So you can see in the images across the top, directly across Ash in the same location, adjacent to the alley, there's a 3-story walk-up apartment building, again, which features, you know, it's primarily brick with a simple brick cornice and stacked windows that are symmetrical. So we brought in some of that language into our building, just with a little bit more of a kind of contemporary interpretation of it, with the sort of metal porch canopy elements, and then bringing in the wood siding around that second floor balcony area to bring in some warmth. And if you advance one more slide, this is that internally facing building that backs up to the alley, kind of bringing in some more of the elements from the Trumbull facing buildings. Again, the main language is the brick detailing with the stacked windows, and on the Trumbull building in particular, because Trumbull's a pretty fast street in terms of driving. So we wanted to bring in these kind of, we call them kind of the lantern elements, where the color comes in with the color siding panels at the corners. And so those kind of become the identifying element as you're driving down the street or walking down the sidewalk. Those are sort of these periodic punches of color, and a little bit of a different massing to give some character to the development. But generally, we're taking you know, the brick language that's existing and kind of putting a little bit of a contemporary twist on it. The brick color itself is taken from the Trinity Church on the corner, and that existing residential home across the alley. There's a lot of red brick architecture kind of already in the area, but there are these examples of a more of a buff brick color. So we sort of placed our project in that family to kind of balance out the kind of colors of brick that are already in that area. I think that that kind of wraps up kind of a general description. And then this is the site plan for any other further questions.
Director Rem, can you put that back? Last Hang back up there. So which one of these is building E? Because we've got a couple variants.
Oh, building E would be the back center on the alley.
Okay, gotcha. So that's building E, so that's gonna be the deficient rear setback and the excessive front front setback.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
A and C, which ones are those?
A and C should be the left side. A should be the front. And C should be the purple left in the rear.
Okay,
And then B should be the front right, and D should be the purple on the right rear.
and so those are the ones that are a little too close to each other.
Yes, yeah,
And then we
'cause
got
the drive
lot-
lane.
lot coverage overall.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, any questions from the board for Mr. Flintoff? Member Bowman?
Yeah, it looks like then our main concern as far as what we need to decide, Dave, regards the lack of a setback. And I'm wondering, is part of the reason that there's a shortage of setback because one is working with multiple buildings rather than creating a huge complex where you'd have all the units in one? Is that part of the reason this has come about that way?
Yeah, because of the multiple buildings. If we'd been in just a multi mixed use building in SD1, we would have been 0 lot line on front and sides. And because we front the alley, I think it's a 10-foot rear setback, right, Josh?
Correct.
So
Yeah, and in general, there are provisions in the ordinance that allow for multiple buildings on one site. However, the setback requirements are the same. So if you have call it a rear set set building, it would need the same front and rear setback as a front building, effectively putting them in the same location on site. So because we're separating the buildings, putting one at the front, putting one at the rear, that creates a deficient rear and excessive front versus having them exist in the exact same location.
Oh. And had they been all attached and considered one building, then we wouldn't need as many dimensional variances.
And where it says public alley, I'm guessing that is it's an active alley. People use it to drive to destinations on the block.
Correct. It's a T-shaped alley, so it's entering from both sides, and at the midpoint, it's splitting to go down further the block. We actually designed a house 2 houses down that uses the alley. So it is an active alley, and we will do work in it, repair it.
Yeah, I guess I'm just concerned about if they need that extra space for some purpose, but I guess I'll wait till the city comes on about that. Thanks.
Yeah, we're not infringing on the alley. We've provided extra curb cuts to bring people internal in between buildings A and C or A and C and B and D. So there's additional inlets. So there's actually 4 points of entry into the parking for the site. So to limit the number of people using the alley, we've provided 2 additional curb cuts that will work through DWSD or DVW to get approved.
Thank you.
And then, excuse me, the board also recognizes the presence of member Weed and Carr. And yeah, member Watson.
Mr. Flintoff, you mentioned that you went back to the community and you made changes based on their recommendation. Can you expound on what changes you guys took?
So the biggest concern we heard was we weren't meeting the intent of an SD1 district by not providing any commercial space. And that was what we added to the development, was adding 1,500 square feet of commercial, expandable to up to 3,000 square feet. Because there was a desire by that to meet the more intent letter of an SD1 district that was already established there. That seemed to be the biggest concern. There are a lot of other just concerns about the development in general. And we get that in every neighborhood. But I think it's an empty site and it's on Woodward and it has some prominence. So we think it has value, and adding the commercial was an appropriate step. We also got a response about the color. Sometimes the developments get to be a little drab and grays. And so we took a chance to freshen that up. So we spoke with some members of the community. We also presented at the March 28th hearing, and there's a letter of acknowledgement in there. They won't provide a letter of support in that community. But there was still some pushback, but there's always going to be pushback for development. But we were generally seemed more supportive. Even some people that were opposition then said they were happier with the changes we made. So,
All right. Any other questions for Flintoff?
I have one question.
Oh, Member Carr.
Board Member Carr. Thank you for being here. Did the community have any other comments about the retail space besides that it should be there? And I was thinking about in terms of encouraging local businesses to be included there.
they didn't specifically, their concerns about the retail then were additional parking. And I'm in Woodbridge and we've got several small pop-ups like that. And I think, they become more community focused event places like the Roost that I visit almost every weekend. I walk there we're hopeful that that'll kind of solve the parking issue as maybe a coffee shop will go in, or a small bagel shop or a little bodega or something. That's what we're going to target. We haven't done anything as far as, pushing for that yet because we want to get through this hearing first. But then we'll work with our real estate development side to start looking for commercial tenants. We didn't design it for anything intense like a restaurant or anything. But we just felt that it was important to have the opportunity for at least like a coffee shop, something which I mean, I appreciate my coffee shop in the neighborhood. It's just a great place to walk to. So I think that's
Thank you. Then my other question is, had the community been presented the changes that you proposed?
yes, that was why we delayed our original hearing was we wanted to go to their spring meeting and actually present in person. So that was on March 28th that we did that.
Okay, thank you. But you said they still wouldn't give you a letter of support?
No, that community just does not provide letters of support. I think they want to stay neutral. So, and I don't blame them. It's a hard environment out there for community organizations.
Okay, thank you.
Member Osborne?
In your townhomes, what type of, I guess, energy conserving green technology are you using for appliances, utilities, any solar, vehicle charging, all electric?
They won't be all electric. It'll be a mix of gas and electric. So gas forced air, but probably electric appliances, and no solar, but there will be EV charging typically in the units. We've been providing that. It's a little bit of a mix of both. The challenge is these are rentals. The balance of trying to not pass along all the electrical costs on an 100% electrical building versus gas. So we tend to balance between the two to create something that's still going to be an affordable monthly for everyone.
Do you have a property maintenance company or property management company?
They will have one, yeah. I'm not sure who it is at this time. So, but it's going to be a long-term hold for the client. It'll have a property maintenance.
Okay. This is the first, I seem to remember your name coming in front of us before. This isn't the first time, right?
No, we're here quite often.
So on your other projects, the property management team, do you change them up or do you expect to go with the same one?
A lot of our projects are for sale townhomes that we're here for, or for single family homes that are owner occupied development ones. We don't get into too many rentals in the townhouse market, only when they're in our multifamily projects.
Okay,
So
Thank you.
those are really on the owner to who they're going to hire.
I got you. Thanks.
And the chair recognizes Member Sherman. Any other questions for the petitioner? Okay, seeing no other questions, we'll go ahead and step back and hear from our departments now, as well as the public. And if you could please pay attention because you'll have an opportunity to respond to any comments that are made. And we will go to, I guess, Mr. Ramos is in the auditorium here, so we'll hear from BC first. Okay. Pardon me? Yeah, that's what I said.
Good morning to this honorable board. I'm zoning inspector Kevin Ramos, representing for the Building Safety Department. This site plan that we are seeing today for 3331 Trumbull has been approved by special land use. And for the applicant to move forward to construction, they'll require the variances that we're speaking of today. In this case, the applicant may have a suitable location for this group of multifamily buildings, but for these 5 structures and 25 units that they are proposing. They are in excess of the lot area. That's the total amount of area you can cover the lot by buildings. The applicant is proposing garage structures, so they are meeting the parking requirements for these rental townhouse units. So that may contribute to that excessive lot area that they're proposing with these large structures. However, there's regulations in the Detroit zoning ordinance that would prefer for these sorts of developments to have a greater spacing in between them to provide outdoor recreation or lawns. So by grouping these 5 buildings together in this small lot, relatively small, that is why they are in excess of the lot area and lot coverage. I'm sorry, that's the same. The lot coverage is excessive and they require horizontal distance to be greater. So the building E that we were referring to, that's at the center, um, right beside the alley, is in excess of a front setback that is strict in the SD1 district, and it is pushed all the way to the alley, so there is no rear setback provided for that building. I think without building E, possibly they wouldn't need as many variances today, but this is the project that they are proposing, and they'll require variances from this board.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Ramos? Mr. Bowman?
Yeah, hi. My question mainly concerned that I already brought it up with the petitioner a minute ago. Is the lack of a spacing between that residential alley and I think it was building E, the building that is directly on it. Does that create any kind of problem as far as you can see regarding public safety or anything like that?
Through the chair, I don't believe there's a problem with the community. However, these restrictions for setbacks and spacing between buildings have been put into the ordinance as a term of fire protection. So, setbacks are more safe for fire trucks and for protection of the spread of fires. However, this is the proposed project development for these group of buildings.
You know, through the chair, if I'm just trying to be clear, is it or is it not a significant concern?
These are matters that can be handled through the building code,
Okay.
whether fire protection can be put into the construction of certain walls. I believe the applicant is handling that matter efficiently.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'll note that BC provided a conditional approval, and they also did a approval conditionally of the site plan. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Great. Okay, any other questions for Dr. Ramos? Member Carr?
And Board Member Carr, will the fire department need to approve the layout for this project?
Through the chair, there is a review at time of building permit where the fire department may determine what construction is being done for these buildings and determine what specific fire safety needs are required. I believe there is a fire hydrant on site that the fire department will be able to access in case of emergencies. So at time of building permit, there is a review as well.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Member Watson?
Mr. Ramos, I just want to recap for clarity. You said that the variances that you're requesting, when granted, there are conditions, as pointed out by the director, there are conditions that have to be met by the petitioner. And you also suggested or stated that the fire department is the authority of last resort. They must come in for the permit process and say yay or nay that this project can go forward. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So we have little to worry about as far as the fire situation is concerned.
Correct. There's further reviews.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions for Inspector Ramos? Thank you, Mr. Ramos.
Thank you.
And next we'll go to, excuse me, planning development.
There was no report from them. They just provided.
Okay. All right, so no report from planning development, so we will move.
Mr. Flintoff,
We will move to our approval criteria.
Could I just provide one
121.
comment real quick on the fire suppression or fire protection? So, because these are townhouses, they are designed with a demising wall between each unit, which is 2 independent structures and a liner panel in the middle to maintain the fire separation between the units. And then additionally, horizontally at the roof, there's 5 feet of non-combustible plywood in each direction. So the intent is that these are independent single-family home, or they are attached single-family homes in a way, so that if every structure is independent of each other. And in the case of the building A, there will be fire suppression as well in that building. So that is more protected. We think there's adequate transitioning of our transfer of trucks on the site because of the through passage of the 2 curb cuts closer to Trumbull, that they could still get internally even if they couldn't make the turn in at the alley. And that's similar if there was a house on the other side of the alley, they might not be able to get to it either from the side. But we've made sure that there's the opportunity to get through to the center through those additional exit points. And everything will be rated for the residential code to separate between the units.
Are you going to be making improvements to the alley at all?
We will make improvements, especially as we're going to be doing sewer taps and things and repairing concrete.
And that's wide enough, it's a 2-way alley.
Yep. Yep.
What do you call that, a minor wall?
What's that?
Did you call that a minor wall?
Demising wall.
Can you spell that?
Demising, DMISSING.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we'll switch over to our approval criteria. And if Member Sherman, if you could do questions 1 and 2, please.
Good morning, Board Member Sherman. Do you believe that the requested variance that you're seeking today is consistent with the master plan of the city of Detroit? And if so, can you explain why?
Yes, we do. We think that one, residential is a very important part of our city. And also not just ownership, but rentals for different opportunities for people to live in our community. And we think that the densification of the site is appropriate for Trumbull, being more of a higher transit area. It creates a nicer street wall and a nice residential element along there that matches similar density to even the adjacent multifamily building on the other side of Ash.
And what are the practical difficulties that prevent you from carrying out the strict letter of this chapter?
Because the ordinance doesn't have provisions for multiple primary structures on one lot, that becomes the difficulty. And because this is a 3-sided property, wanting to maintain the street wall on all 3 sides meant that we had to have separate buildings. Especially with the alley constraints and access, we wanted to make sure those were separated to provide interior access at multiple points, not just off the alley, so that we weren't providing unnecessary constraint to the neighbors.
Thank you.
Okay. Member
Hello.
Osborne, 3 and 4, please.
Yes,
Or,
sir.
sorry, not Osborne. I was ready. The other guy. Yes, ready.
Okay, thank you,
Sorry.
Mr. Chair. Okay, how does the requested variance or administrative adjustment eliminate a practical difficulty to you as the applicant? Specifically, if we grant the variance, what will it do for your business and the site where it is being built?
Josh, do you want to take these?
Sure. So if the variances are requested or are granted, it would allow us to construct the project as designed and provide that full 25 unit count. Again, most of the variances are related to the kind of multi-building nature of it, especially the building that is tucked next to the alley. And we think that it is important to get that unit count and the density that's proposed, and that's really what the variances will allow us to do.
Yeah, thank you. And the next question, please explain how the requested variance or administrative adjustment will have no significant adverse impact on health, safety, or general welfare of the surrounding property owners or general public, or upon natural environment, and explain how your business will not cause any adverse impact on the other businesses around you.
Sure. The nature of the project is keeping within the character of the zoning and also the existing uses around us. So again, it's a multi-unit, mostly residential development with some retail mixed in, which is pretty in line with the Trumbull corridor in general. The placement of the buildings on site is also similar to what's already occurring in the area, as we showed the side-facing buildings adjacent to the alley that already exist on Ash, as well as the walk-up nature of the buildings. We think that by placing the majority of the surface parking in the center of the site also maintains that that sort of character and the flow of the neighborhood with front doors and multifamily buildings fronting sidewalks. There's not many instances of parking fields being right up against the sidewalk. So this project maintains that. And we're not bringing in a use that is foreign to either the zoning or the existing neighborhood. Again, given that we're mostly residential with some neighborhood focus retail involved.
Okay. Member Parker, 6 and 7.
Sir, how and why is this request variance for administrative adjustment required to compensate for some unusual aspects of the site?
Sorry, this is the court reporter. I'm having a really hard time hearing.
I'm sorry, please excuse me. Sir, excuse me. How and why is this request variance or administrative adjustment required to compensate for some unusual aspects of the site or the proposed development that is not shared by the landowners in general?
So the unique aspect of this site, again, is that it's a 3-sided site plus a 4th side, which is the alley. As stated also, there are examples of buildings that both have a building that's facing Trumbull and then also have a building around the corner next to the alley that's facing Ash. So this configuration does exist on other properties, other blocks that are similar in size. Again, this property that we're talking about is essentially one whole block from Major Street to Alley. And the configuration of buildings that we're proposing is similar to what exists on other similar sized areas of land. It's just that those are most likely multiple lots that are developed separately, whereas this is one large parcel that had already been divided up as a condo development previously. So that's sort of the parcel that we're working within, trying to create something that's similar to other blocks that might be multiple parcels. So the zoning situation isn't any different from any other parcel. We're all playing by the same rules. It's just that for us to get multiple buildings on site in order to match sort of the more typical situation, it puts us in a situation where we need variances because there's not a lot of, as Tim stated, accounting for how you actually put multiple buildings on one site. So again, it's the adverse impact is just us trying to, within one site, replicate the arrangement that already exists on similar blocks that might be multiple sites.
Okay, thank you. Also, Mr. Maddock, question 5. Please explain how any adverse impacts resulting from the variance or administrative adjustment will be mitigated to the maximum extent predictable.
Yes. So if there are any, I imagine this could be something related to alley access because we are proposing a building that's on the alley. Again, this will be a project that is rental, so it will be managed by a single entity. There will be, on-site maintenance. There will be a single point of contact for, any issues between the neighborhood and the development. So if there are issues that result from us building a building close to the alley in terms of access or traffic, then those concerns can be raised directly to the building owner and operator and can be worked out with that single person.
And to add to that, during construction, because it's multiple buildings, they'll be phased and started at different times. And because we have that interior parking area, we have an area to work, even build the alley building from. So we can limit the work in the alley to just the siding, construction, and minimize that as much as possible, where lay down area, storage, parking can all be done interior of the site.
Thank you.
Member Osborne, 7 and 8, please.
When you good morning, Mr. Flintoff. When you purchased the property, what were your plans?
We had done multiple studies on the site. We actually did look at doing a large multifamily development first. But we felt that the density was a little too much for the site, and we eventually landed on this approach where we felt it was more appropriate scale.
And will you be conducting any business other than what you've spoken of on record today?
No, there will be no additional business.
2 follow-up questions. One is, what's the schedule, the construction schedule?
We'd like to go in for permits in June and ideally break ground on the first building in the fall.
And
frost.
that's just phase 1. How many phases?
They will go up in individual buildings and probably staggered by a couple of months between. And then it'll probably be a 12 to 16 month build cycle for everything. The first step though is we have to do underground because we're over half an acre of impervious. We have to provide on-site storm detention. So that'll be the first step would be to getting the cistern tank in and all the underground done for all the units.
Thinking about sometime in 2028, this should be complete.
Correct.
Okay. You have construction management team yet?
The developer is also his own general contractor,
Same.
so he'll
The
self-perform.
Bondi team? All right, thank you. Yeah, I did.
Oh, all right. Member Campbell, do 9 and 10, please.
How will your request benefit the other businesses in the area?
Again, I think now that we've added retail to it, it's going to benefit the community with having some retail that's walkable. And we'll be taking input from them with what they'd like to see there. Hopefully they have suggestions or other businesses that'd like to come in. We're not necessarily looking for a big box chain or anyone like that. We'd love to have local representation in the neighborhood. There's people out there that either have their own tax business or something that want to have a shop. That's how I wound up in Rivertown. Is one of my clients had a building, and I wanted to stay in the city with my business. So we hope that kind of a grassroots grow.
Okay. And is this city-owned property?
No, it's privately owned.
Okay, thank you.
Member Carr, do you have any questions?
Not at this time, thank you.
Member Weed?
No other questions.
Any other questions from the board for Mr. Flintoff before we go into public comment? Okay, thank you. If you want to step back, we're going to do public comment now. If you please pay attention to public comment. If there's anything negative that gets brought up by the public, you'll have an opportunity to speak to that. If there's anybody in the auditorium that would like to make a public comment specific to 3331 Trumbull, please come down to the podium. Anybody in the auditorium that would like to make public comment specific to 3331 Trumbull, please come down to the podium. Seeing nobody, will switch to our virtual participants. If there's anybody on Zoom, anybody online that would like to make a public comment specific to 3331 Trumbull, please raise your hand. Public comment specific to 3331 Trumbull, please raise your hand. You see anybody, Director?
Michael Scalenda.
Michael Sklenka. Please unmute yourself. And if you could state your name and address, the inspector will swear you in. You'll have 2 minutes.
My name is Michael Skalenka. My address is 1577 Ash Street.
Would you raise your right hand? Do you affirm your testimony before the board today is the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
You have 2 minutes, sir.
So I live on Ash Street, just west of the proposed development, and just want to offer support for the project and say thank you to the architects and developer for acting on the feedback from myself and multiple other neighbors by incorporating a ground floor commercial component along Trumbull. While we would like to see a more extensive dedicated commercial footprint here, and in the neighborhood in general, I think that providing adaptability with full fire suppression and expandability into adjacent units for future growth is a good compromise towards fulfilling the spirit of the SD1 zoning of this parcel, and will hopefully plant seeds towards reestablishing Trumbull as a viable commercial corridor. On a side note, I want to encourage DPW to compel the developer to address the flooding issues on Sycamore and Ash at the intersections with Trumbull. And also actually, to repair the alley in accordance with their design standards to include 6 to 8 inches of concrete paving instead of allowing them to just lay down crushed concrete, gravel, and calling it a day, as was done on some other townhome projects by this developer in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, Director Rimmer?
No other hands.
Okay, we'll close out public comment. Any communication?
Yes, we received a letter from Southwest Detroit Business Association providing support. Northtown, Corktown Development acknowledges the construction project. And there are several letters, about 25 or so, from community residents. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Flintoff, do you want to speak at all to that flooding or what you plan for the alley?
Yeah, in regards to the alley, we have already started engineering drawings and we'll reiterate to the owner to make sure he's following the proper standards for that. And then the flooding issues will be addressed in our drainage plans. We are providing new site drainage on the site. So, but we'll evaluate that further to make sure it's covered appropriately.
Thank you. Okay, we will enter boardroom discussion, and a motion is always in order. Any comments from? Mr. Bowman, I've never known you to be quiet. Mr. Alper.
Yeah, I think this is a good development, making efficient use of the property. I'm satisfied with the answer about the fire department, and I'm in favor of it.
Any other comments? Oh, Mr. Bowman.
Yeah, as a person who was a Woodbridge resident for a couple of years, I'm familiar with the region, and I think this would be a good addition to the area. A lot of space where there used to be residential buildings of a similar size and density as what's being proposed here, and they're just gone now because of demolition and a lot of the issues that came up regarding real estate back in, over 10 years ago. Yeah, I'm in support of this project. I don't really see any reason to object. My only concern was pretty much satisfied because as a matter of law, the fire department needs to approve this anyway, so it's not really my job to do that part. They can do that.
Yeah, and I would, go ahead. Ms. Campbell.
I do also support the project, and I do appreciate the feedback or going back to the community and getting the feedback from the community. I do also appreciate the 20% AMI to support affordable housing that's desperately needed in our community. So I am also in support.
Yeah, and I would agree. I'm in support also. It's this is my neighborhood. It's very consistent with other developments. Obviously, takes up a piece of vacant land, and that little particular corner right there, is a little bit of a corner of mischief in the neighborhood. So I think that having something developed on that site is important for continuity as well as safety. And obviously, we're going to improve the alley, which is needed. I like the new exterior finishes with the color and all the brick, so I think that's nice. And it creates a good separation between the neighborhood and across the street, which is mostly casino and then industrial. And there's a vacant piece across the street also, which I would assume will get developed into industrial at some point. So I'm also in favor of the project. Can I get a motion from somebody? Member Osborne, and with the motion, please include all of the criteria.
All right. In BZA case 2025-00048, the location being 3331 Trumbull, I make a motion to approve the dimensional variances for the construction of 5 separate townhouse structures. Move to approve the deficient rear setback, the excessive front setback, the deficient horizontal distance between the 2 buildings, and the excessive lot coverage. The development is consistent with the master plan. The multiple structures on one single lot seem to be a cause that will bring about difficulties for compliance with the zoning ordinance. The variance that is granted will allow the development of this vacant land. Construction doesn't seem to adversely affect the surrounding neighborhood. Mr. Flintoff, Mr. Maddox have both made provisions to mediate that any traffic or any alley access that would be detrimental to the surrounding community. The site is unique in the fact that it is multiple buildings in one configuration, which is multiple buildings on the property, which will maximize the development and the parcel use. The commercial space is a value added to the local business and community. The utilities are being addressed. The utilities are being addressed. The property is adequately served by all utilities. And I make a motion to approve these
Second.
Okay, moved and properly seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
BZA case 2025-00048, Tiffany Flintoff requesting dimensional variances for the construction of 5 separate townhouse structures containing 25 dwelling units has been granted. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is our next case in, please? You're welcome. Thank you.
BZA case 2026-00015, City Council District Number 1. BZA petitioner is Atlas Consulting. The location is 18850 West McNichols between Avon and Stahallen in a B4 zone, general business district. Atlas Consulting requesting dimensional variances to add a specially designated distributors, SDD, use to an existing specially designated merchants, SDM establishment, and an existing 2,090 square foot building approved with conditions in BC case SLU 2025-00082. The decision date was February the 13th, 2026. The effective date was February 27th, 2026. The subject site is within a B4 general business district. We will now hear from Inspector Purefoy.
Thank you, Director. We're here in this case because the Board of Zoning Appeals shall be authorized to hear dimensional variance requests for matters that are beyond the scope of the Building Department's 10% administrative adjustments for a variance of minimum setbacks. Under Section 534432, due to the following two controlled uses being located within 2,000 radial feet of the subject property, a waiver for overconcentration shall be required from the Board of Zoning Appeals prior to obtaining a building permit. We're here in this case under Section 54-131-6, permitted dimensional variances, and 54-121, the approval criteria. Here in this case, under the legal description attached, our attorney will assess ownership. The Building Department's approval effective February 27, 2026 states the request is to add a specially designated distributors, which is an SDD use, to an existing specially designated merchants, which is an SDM establishment in an existing 2,090 square foot building. The current legal description of the subject property is retail with an SDM, State of Michigan Specially Designated Merchants License, which expires April 30th, 2026, and an SDD license, State of Michigan Specially Designated Distributors License, also expire April 30th, 2026, and a carry-out without drive-up and drive-through facilities under permit issued in March of 1999. BC held a public hearing on January 14, 2026. In addition to City of Detroit personnel, the participants of the hearing included the consultants representing the property owner and 6 residents who spoke in support of the requested use. Preliminary site plans were approved on December 16, 2025. A letter from Planning and Development dated January 29, 2026 recommended approval of the requested use. A neighboring petition verifying that at least 67% of the people owning property, residing, or doing business within 500 radial feet of the location is required to waive the proximity of the proposed controlled use to residentially zoned land under Section 53441. On August 7, 2025, BC issued the applicant a petition approval letter which verified that the signatures requirements had been met. Under Section 501473, off-street parking exemptions and allowances as the structure is less than 3,000 square feet, it's 2,090 square feet, and was originally constructed in 1994. No additional parking is required for this use. Under Section 53403, controlled uses are subject to the following spacings or overconcentration restrictions: 500 feet from schools and 2,000 feet from any 2 other controlled uses. The proposed use is a controlled use, thus is subject to additional spacing or concentration requirements. The 2 uses that bring this property before the board, one is located at 18140 West McNichols. It is Rosedale Liquor. It has an SDD and an SDM license. It's approximately 1,757 square feet away, and it's located on 6 Mile in Southfield. The other is Park Lane Liquors, located at 19150 West McNichols. It has an SDM SDD license. It is approximately 890 feet away to the west. Subject property is located between those 2 subject properties, but again, one is 1,750 feet away, the other is 890 feet away. And under Section 53443, 2, as there are 2 controlled uses within that 2,000 radial feet, a waiver of overconcentration is required, and that variance is required by the Board of Zoning Appeals prior to issuance of a permit. So again, the petition is before the board to add an SDD license to their existing SDM license, and they're before the board because of those 2 other controlled uses within 2,000 feet. This is a front view of the subject property in question, again located at 18850 West McNichols. You looking down West McNichols, looking to the east. View West McNichols. This is again looking to the east. This is the west side of the subject property looking down Stahalin Street. Subject property is right ahead. Block opposite on Stahalin and 6 Mile, commercial business. This is the west side of the property on the corner of Stahalin and West McNichols. Looking down the frontage of the subject property, looking to the east. You looking down the residential street of Stahalin. Rear view of the subject property, alley behind the subject property. Rear view of the building in question. View of the alley behind the subject property, looking to the east. You looking back up towards West McNichols. This is their parking lot, which is to the east of their building. There's a beauty supply store immediately to the east of the subject property. This is again their parking area and looking at the frontage of their building. Block opposite, there is a board-approved rental hall directly across the street. This is a view of one of the subject properties that bring the case before the board. That is the one at 19150 McNichols, and this is the one that's closer to Southfield. And that completes the visuals, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Inspector Fearful. Get the Atlas team up. Good morning.
Hit the button for me. Hit the button at the bottom.
Can we get,
Do I hit?
can we get anybody up that's gonna be speaking on the case?
Okay,
today?
good.
All right, if we could get each of your names, addresses, and the inspector will swear you in.
Good morning, Honorable Board. My name is Irma Moss Bryant. I'm representing Atlas Consultant. My address is 23242 Sagebrush in Novi, Michigan, 48375.
Anybody else?
Good morning. My name is Hadia Halantu. My address is 33267, 33536 Sebastian Lane Drive, Sterling Heights, Michigan, 48312, and I'm the owner of the property.
Welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Sema. I'm with Atlas Consulting. My address 2093 Burgundy Street, West Bloomfield, Michigan. Thank you.
Would you all raise your right hands, please? You affirm your testimony before the board today is the truth? I do. Thank you.
So is there a primary person that's gonna speak? Ms. Bryant? Okay, so the first thing we need to do is establish standing with Attorney Savage.
I didn't hear you.
I said the first thing that we need to do is establish standing with Attorney Savage.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Eric again on behalf of the Law Department. These questions are designed to assess your standing. According to section 50-3-3 of the City of Detroit zoning ordinance, any party that petitions the Board of Zoning Appeals must have sufficient standing, which means you either have a legal interest in the property or you're authorized by the property owner to appear on their behalf. Based on the search of the Law Department's records, of the public records, 18850 West McNichols was a warranty deed recorded on April 4th, 2025 at Library 59507, page 1424, and reflects the owner of the property as the Twins Property 2 LLC. And I did receive a letter of authorization today. And Madam, you're the sole owner of the Twins Property 2 LLC. Could you state your name again?
My name is Hadia Halantu.
Okay, and this states that you're the sole owner and you grant the broad authority to Atlas Consulting to represent you on this matter.
Yes.
Okay, and outside of Atlas Consulting, is there anyone else that's authorized to speak on your behalf regarding the property?
No, just the Atlas and Irma. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, based on the statements placed on the record and the letter of authorization, I'm satisfied with standing to proceed.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Savage. To my fellow board members, I know sometimes we get a little confused when it comes to liquor licenses. So just so you have an understanding, an SDM license is a license that allows you to sell beer and wine only. So SDM is beer and wine only. They already have that license and they're already currently selling beer and wine. An SDD license is what allows you to sell hard liquor. And that's what they're asking for today, is they want to add the ability to sell hard liquor. However, in order to do that, they need a permission from us because there's already a couple of stores in the area that are doing the same thing. So that's basically why we're here. Don't want to steal your thunder, Ms. Bryant, but go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, board. My name is Irma Moss Bryant. I am with Atlas Consultant, and we are proud to represent the store owner, Hadil. We asked for your approval to add an SDD license to the market located at 18850 West McNichols. I know there are rules about how close these businesses can be to each other, but we aren't here today to talk about just spacing of a liquor store. We're here to talk about a business that is actually improving the neighborhood. Before the current owners took over the building, there was a problem. Blighted. First of all, it was dirty. Shelves were empty when it was open, full of expired food, and there was trash everywhere. In just a few short months, Hadley and the team have changed everything. They cleaned it up. They put in new floors, fresh paint, and modern shelves. They focused on food. They bought fresh milk, bread, groceries, and other family, actually, other needs that families needed in that area. They care about us. They even hosted a free Thanksgiving lunch for the neighborhood. The people were solely appreciated of that, something that no other store owner has ever done there. One thing I like to say is that when I actually went to the store, they had the shelves stocked, very clean. The people loved them. If you look at the support letters package, you can clearly see that the neighbors, including the Stahalin Street Tiger Block Club, wants the business to succeed. Most of the people who signed the petition lived within walking distance of the store. They want to shop at a place that is clean, safe, and respectful. Your approval today will help this business stay successful. It will give them the funds to finish their outdoor projects, like fixing the back wall and putting in professional dumpsters and keeping the alley clean. We want to keep seeing this property grow and improve. We respectfully ask you to approve this request. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Bryant from the board? Member Osborne?
Ms. Bryant, did you mention that there were letters of support for this project?
There's over 110 signatures and support, that are signed in support of this business. And we have 10 letters also. And one of them was from the Tiger Block Club.
Was any of that submitted to the board?
All of it was.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, we've got it.
that package was sent out to the board members twice. Thank
Yep,
you, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, I've got it. I'll share it with Vice Chair.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had, just to verify, at least the way I count it, I could have missed one. Yeah, we have 2 letters in opposition, 9 letters in support, and 110 signatures on a form letter in support.
Okay. I must have overlooked.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Bryant? Okay, seeing none, if you want to go ahead and step back, we're going to hear from our departments now. Inspector Ramos.
Thank you. Good morning to this honorable board. Zoning Inspector Kevin Ramos, representing for the Building Safety Department. This applicants has a retail store where they are permitted with SDM, specially designated merchant sales. That's the sales of beer and wine. However, they propose to add liquor sales, and that is a controlled use. They applied for the special land use permits for approval. And at time of that special land use hearing application, we realized that they are within 500 feet of residential zoning districts, neighborhoods. So they were first required to apply for a neighborhood petition to gather signatures from folks within 500 feet of the subject site. And they were verified with 2/3 of signatures of folks within 500 feet approving that special land use to move forward. At time of special land use, we also process public notice to folks within 300 feet for the hearing. I personally conducted the inspection of this site for the special land use hearing. And at the time of the hearing on January 14th, the applicants did state that they would clean the rear of the property where, in the winter time, the plants were not growing. In the images from Inspector Purefoy, we did notice that the plants are growing in the back rear of the property. And the applicant did also state that they would paint the building. They did have significant support at the time of the special land use hearing, but by adding a controlled use for the sale of liquors, the city requires to more dispersal of these types of businesses on appropriate for the protection of the neighborhood. I do also see in the site plan review that there's a church and a school within the half mile of the subject site. However, they do have significant support of the neighborhood.
Thank you, Inspector. Any questions for Inspector Ames? Member Sherman?
Good morning, Mr. Ramos. Did you say the city wants to see more of these type of businesses in the neighborhood, or did I mishear you?
No, the opposite, actually. This is a matter of over concentration. And so these businesses are restricted for that over concentration. The city wishes to see them more equitably dispersed throughout the neighborhood and spaced as appropriate for the protection of the neighborhood.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for Inspector Ramos? Okay, seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a report from P&D or no? I don't think so.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Ms. Bryant, if we could have you back up, we're going to move to our approval criteria 50-4-121. Excuse me. And Board Member Weed, we will start with you with questions 1 and 2, please.
Board Member Weed, is the requested variance or administrative adjustment consistent with the master plan and the spirit, purpose, and intent of the chapter?
Yes, sir. The request is consistent with the master plan objective to maintain stability, service-oriented commercial corridor. By converting a negative property into a high-quality shopping experience with fresh dairy, bread, groceries, the establishment fulfills the zoning ordinance intent to provide neighborhood retail services. Residents have formally noted that the business is a good addition to this and it has dramatically improved the property's condition.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The next issue is, what are the practical difficulties to prevent you from carrying out the strict letter of this chapter?
The strict adherence of the spacing prevents a community focus, responsible operations from, responsible operator from for competing in a corridor where existing options are often poorly maintained, effectively limiting residents' clear choice of a clean safe shopping experience.
And I do want to point out to the board in your packet or in your board book, the petitioner did provide a written comment to all of the questions. Member Carter, if you could please do 3 and 4.
Good morning. Good morning. How does the requested variance or administrative adjustment eliminate a practical difficulty to you or your applicant? And if we grant the variance, what will it do for your business and the site where it's being built, or the site, the community?
Okay, thank you. The waiver provides the regulatory relief necessary to add a SDD license, generating the revenue required to sustain high operating standards. This allows for the completion of significant upgrades, such as new concrete pads, professional dumpster enclosures, ensuring the property is maintained a long-term neighborhood existence. That's exactly what they're trying to accomplish with this.
Explain how your business will not cause any adverse impact on other businesses around you.
The current operation has an exemplary record of safety. Community testimony confirms that the store is always safe. It has actually eliminated the blight, the trash issue associated with other, licenses in the area. Their exterior remodeling, including fresh painting, facade, further enhancements, visual welfare of the local corridor. One of the things I just want to address from the inspector is that on the back, this will help them be able to maintain that back part of their building where, they have already cleaned it up, but they want to improve it and make it a lot better since it's so close to the alley and visual to the neighborhood. They're planning on putting money into that area also to make it more aesthetically pleasing for the neighborhood.
Thank you. Sometimes there's empty bottles and that kind of trash related to liquor sales around liquor stores. How will that be maintained or
Well, first of
prevented?
all, they have installed cameras so that they would be able to see. A lot of times, people will do that. They're going to make sure they have somebody out there on it right away if that happens. But they have not had that problem since they've been there. The people really like them. They know that they care, and they're not allowing people to just hang around, and they've done things to help that situation. Yes.
So as my husband and I run the business, we always are out there. So when I come in, I always tell him before he leaves. During the day, we always have somebody that's out there, one of our customers, to try to keep everything clean. That's why you will hear from our supporters, our surrounding stores right now, it's very clean, and we will continue to keep it that way. She mentioned something about the camera system. So we at the store had 0 cameras for outside and inside when we took over. We added cameras, 12 cameras, I believe, or 16 camera system that I have an access to it from my phone. My husband has an access to it from his phone. His brother has an access to it from his phone. We're always constantly checking on our phones to make sure everything is safe. We have people from the neighborhood all here. We have their cell number. If there's anything, we call them, they call us, they're like family to us. Even though we've been there for such a short time, but we've built our communications with them. We're very close with them. We've attended their events, so we're always made aware of what's going on. So it's not only now that's gonna continue being clean like this, but it will continue the whole time that we're the owner of the store. Thank you. And also for security, If this approval gives us more revenue to do, we're planning on doing a green light also. So that's another addition that we can add on to the site. But that needs a lot of revenue to do that. Thank you.
Yeah. As you can see, she is totally involved in her business, and they have reached out and made efforts and succeeded in getting the support from their neighbors. Many of the people are seniors that live in the area. They need somewhere that they can walk to make it easier for them to maintain. And they got many groceries and local services items such as, for oil or for their car if they have one, or something for them to barbecue with, that kind of stuff is on the shelves. If you saw the pictures, which are, I believe, are in the package, you can see that they were catering to making sure that they had food items that were fresh, that were healthy, and they had items, that you need to maybe repair something, or, little things like that. They are paying attention to the details that it takes for their business to succeed. And by having this license, it's going to allow them, of course, to be competitive in this world with the uh, with the cost of things going up. They're totally able to maintain their business. So many small businesses go out of business because they run out of money and they don't have it set up. So that leaves another blighted situation for that community, or somebody coming there that don't care, that's not involved. Like she says, she has the residents' numbers, they have theirs. They are totally active in this project.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Ms. Campbell, 5 and 6, please.
Okay, thank you. Board Member Campbell, good morning.
Good morning.
Can you please explain to me how you will combat any, or how, if there are any adverse effects, how will you deal with them?
Okay, well, potential impacts are mediated through proactive site management, such as she was talking about, including the removal or outdated fencing. That's one of the things they plan on doing to fix up the back, pouring a new rear concrete pad, installing proper dumpsters, enclosures to keep the alleyway professional and tidy. And these physical upgrades ensure the site um, maintain orderly and clean for the surrounding residential stakeholders. So they're working on making sure, as they've already said, to make sure that happens.
Okay, and I did have an additional question. So with the business, and I know that it was mentioned that there are currently cameras that the owners are able to access remotely, but with the business not currently participating in Project Greenlight and the business being directly located across the street from a rental hall, has safety considerations been taken into account for that?
Well, that's the reason they're going to be a green light spot. That's what they're working on establishing. And because that is a hall, a lot of times the activities there is, later on the weekend nights. So by them having the cameras, by them establishing the green light, it will be an added layer of security for the people in that neighborhood.
Okay, and you mentioned that the hall typically has activities like later in the evening, so been no like consideration for that, like the liquor from the store to be purchased and taken into the hall?
Oh, no, that's not basically what usually happens. The hall usually either has, a bar set up inside or something like that. So there's no need for them to come across the street and especially a busy street at night to, purchase that liquor.
And what are the current hours of the store?
Oh, 9 to 7 p.m. and closed on Sundays.
So it closes typically at 7 p.m. And that would remain the same if the variance is granted?
One moment.
Sorry. We're just gonna open a little longer over the week, maybe until 9 o'clock, because my husband is the one that opens and closes there every single day. So 9 to 10 or 9 to 9.
So if this variance is approved, then the hours would be extended?
Extended, correct? Because we have been, honestly, we have been hearing it from our customers. Why are you closed on Sundays? He runs the business by himself by getting, again, the liquor license that's gonna bring more revenue to hire more people, just to open a little longer for the neighborhood, because that has been their request, to open later, open on Sundays. So we're just granting what their wish for.
Okay.
Yes.
Member Osborne, 7 and 8, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do the next question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We didn't do 6.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. What is special about your site that is different from the others around?
Okay, our project is unique, in its okay, unlike standard commercial entities, this establishment has earned the explicit support of the Stahalan Street Tiger Block Club. That's the immediate block club for that location area. Um, it's a concentration of signatures within a walkable half-mile radius. The owner provides social responsibilities such as providing community meals and assessing elderly patrons. I was there one day when they were helping a patron that needed help that came into their store, representing an unusual neighborhood benefit. They are going above and beyond and making sure that they are like a family to this community. That's what they're working for. And they want to be able to maintain that by establishing that license so that they can have the revenue they need to do what they need to accomplish. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to add one more thing in regards to that. So one of our supporters, he couldn't make it today, but normally he will walk to our store and my husband drops him home. That's how they are with us.
Oh, okay, I just have one final additional question.
Yes.
Does the store currently participate in any food subsidy programs like SNAP, WIC, or Double Up Food Bucks?
We do have, we accept EBT in our location for our customers. Like we accept EBT from our customers.
Do you participate in Double Up Food Bucks?
But, the
To
deposit
or
box?
WIC to promote like healthy food?
Yes, yes. So we have a lot of healthy snacks in our store. So we have a mix of everything in our store.
But specifically WIC or Double Up Food Bucks?
Not WIC, no. We
Not
don't,
WIC.
not WIC. We don't accept WIC, only EBT.
So at this time, only EBT?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But you're not opposed to looking into those programs, are you?
We will, but once time gives us, we're just trying to focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just trying to focus on one thing at a time. Yes.
And you've only been there a matter of months, 1 year. So they're working on establishing everything. First of all, they want to get the legal standings established, and they can look at that more. And the community, because they are close to the community, they do listen to their concerns. If that's something that they are asking for, of course, they'll follow up with that.
Just so you know, and according to that, we haven't had any requests for WIC. So mainly they go to the bigger stores to get the WIC and everything else. So, but I always ask our customers, anything that you don't see here, feel free to let us know and we'll bring it. And that's what we've been doing for the past year.
Member Osborne, 7 and 8, please.
Good morning, Member Osborne. When you purchased the property, what were your plans?
You want to answer that? Okay, okay. Excuse me, when you purchase the property, the historical condition of the district that predates are you talking about number 7?
7.
Yes. It predates the ownership. So the applicant is responding to the environment by rehabbing an once blighted property, God bless you, once blighted property, and the need for the space relief is a result of the existing municipal zoning patterns, not the applicant's actions.
community. So within our community of the store, that's where the thought of bringing liquor, because they have been asking us, we need liquor, we need liquor. We don't want to walk down that way or this way. So it's not about competition. It's about bringing what they need right there. We are basically trying to do a one-stop shop for them. So we have groceries, so we have from canned food, we have from whatever they need, it's there.
Okay. And will you be conducting any business other than what you've spoken of on record today?
Oh, no, I didn't understand what he said, but yes, no, they're not conducting any other business.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Member Parker, 9 and 10.
Sure. How will you request benefits the other businesses in the area? And is there anything we could have done other than what you are requesting today?
Is that number 9?
Number 9.
That's number 9.
Okay. Substantial justice is served by allowing a clean, respectful business to operate fairly in a corridor currently marked by poorly poorly managed establishments. Over 75% of the signers are within a half-mile radius walking distance, proving that the neighbors view this approval as a direct benefit to their quality of life. A lesser relaxation would fail to provide the financial stability required to maintain current high standards.
Okay. In case of a city-owned land or property to be sold, the requested variance or administrative adjustment shall not conflict with the terms of conditions of the sale.
That's not applicable.
Is this
Just
city-owned
indicate it's not
property?
city-owned. Just indicate it's not city-owned.
This is not a city-owned property.
Okay.
Thank you. Any additional questions, Member Watson? Member Bowman? Any questions?
No, I don't have.
Member Sherman, any questions?
Quick question. I noticed that community was used several times throughout the presentation or throughout the answer of the questions. Do the applicant and her husband live in the community?
No, we don't live, but I call them our community because we spend majority of the time there. I drop my kids to school, I go there, I leave, I pick up my kids, my husband is there. When I say they're our community, they're our family. We don't live there, but we technically do because our business is there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the board for the petition? Okay, seeing none, if you want to go ahead and step back, we're gonna take public comment now. If you could please pay attention if there are any issues that arise through public comment, you'll have an opportunity to address those. Any communications, Director?
Yes, we have a letter from Rosedale Park Civic Association indicating that they do not support the development. There's a petition signed by several individuals. And there are a couple of letters. Lewis Cobb in support. Renee Jackson in support. I can't read this name in support. David Jackson and Michael, looks like Lockhart. And the rest are petition signatures. And Mr. Chairman, you also received in the packet that was sent pictures that the petitioner sent indicated improvements on the property. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, we will open up public comment now. If you're in the auditorium and you'd like to make a comment on 18850 West McNichols, please come up to the podium. If there's more than one person, if you could make a line up the steps. Public comment in the auditorium for 18850 West McNichols. Once we get everybody lined up, we're gonna ask that we swear you all in at the same time. And then you'll each have 2 minutes to address the board with your public comment.
You want me to start?
We got
Yes.
folks lining up behind you. We're gonna try and get you all sworn in at the same
I'm
time.
Marcia Bruin, 16.
Hold on 1 second, man.
We're gonna swear everybody in all at once. Everybody raise your right
Would you
hand.
all raise your right hands, please? Do you affirm your testimony before the board today is the truth? Thank you. As you come up, put your name and address on the record.
So name and address, and you have 2 minutes.
Okay. Marcia Bruin, 16739 Shaftesbury, Detroit. Good morning. I'm the retired director of the City Planning Commission. I'm also a 50-year resident of North Rosedale Park. I'm here speaking in opposition to the request. My early years in the neighborhood, I've witnessed businesses closing, increasing vacancies, and the eventual decline of our commercial strip. So you can imagine how pleased I've been to see the recent positive changes along the northern border of our neighborhood, McNichols. New businesses, men's and women's clothing stores, Little Bros Pizza, a very popular little Good Cookies, a fitness studio. In addition, we have new street trees on most of the blocks. And what is most encouraging, and you received a letter from them, is the establishment of the West McNichols Business Association, which is working actively to establish a business improvement district and also encourage further investment along McNichols. But we also have liquor stores. As you exit the Southfield Freeway onto McNichols, the first store you'll see is a liquor store. Drive 5 blocks, and there is the petitioner's beer and wine store. Go just another 3 blocks, and there is another liquor store. If this petition is approved, there will be 3 liquor stores within 8 blocks.
15 seconds.
We do not need 3 liquor stores within 8 blocks. Please deny the petitioner's request. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, if you could please state your name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes to address.
My name is Anthony Wadsworth, retired veteran, 33 years, United States Army. I service majority of that area. I own a commercial window washing service. I paint. I do everything from a lot of the businesses in that area for over 25 years. My address is 10621 West Outer Drive, Detroit, Michigan, 48223. I really appreciate these people opening up the store. Oh, I really appreciate the people opening up the store. According to some of the other businesses owners that I've spoken with, they're generating their businesses to bring in more businesses for them as well. I don't know how this goes or anything like that, but these guys, the guy that previously owned the store before they bought the store, I don't know why y'all gave this guy this. They should have shut him down years ago because there were mice running in the store, there were bugs in the store. Oh, there were bugs running around in the store. I even went in my own personal pocket and paid people to even clean up around the area. So when one day I happened to go by there and I saw the store closed, I was shocked. I was like, oh, he closed down? I thought y'all shut him down. But then I turned back around about 3 days later, I saw this sign, these people signed Twins Market. I'm like, oh, they new owners. So I was pretty pleased with that in the area that I live and service in, to see new businesses that's gonna bring and generate other businesses for the rest of the businesses and the people that don't have transportation, walk. They can
15
walk to the
seconds.
store. They can walk up to the store comfortably and make it back home before the rain fall on them. I just want to say thank you for your time and let me say this to you all.
Thank you, and thank you for your decades of service.
You're welcome, sir. I appreciate it.
Sir, name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Albert Petit, and I reside at 17592 Avon. And I also am over 50-year resident. So I know all 3 stores at hand. This particular store, when the old store, the original store, I've been there for the original store. This is the best family there right now. And everyone here, we're all senior citizens. I'm retired from Ford Motor Company. So, and I've been in that vicinity for a while. Like I say, I have numerous properties. And what I like about the Twins Market, not only that they bring in fresh fruit, they brought in fresh fruit. So it's more than just a liquor store. And they do things for the community. They do things for the children. And that's the reason that I'm here and I support it, because we are a family over there. Everybody here, we've been knowing each other for a long time. And when we all come together, we come together. And so I would say, please help them do what they're doing. That's all. Thank you.
My
Name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes.
My name is Charles Simpson, and I reside at 16755 Stahaven. And since they moved into the neighborhood, it's been like really a family. Keep the store clean, everything. If you need help, he'll help you out. They'll help you out in everything. And we the ones who ask for the liquor, cause I walk. I don't have no car. I stay on Stahaven. I have to walk, like you say, dog that way or dog that way. And most of the time, the one closest be closed, so I have to walk the other way. And that's further down Southfield. That's why I think y'all should let them have the license. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Michael Lockhart. I'm at 17686 Warren 48219. I'm the guy that makes sure the lots and everything cleaned up. And they are great folk, and I appreciate y'all approve them for their liquor license.
Thank you. Name and address, ma'am, you have 2 minutes.
My name is Mary Smith. I stay at 17127 Stahaven. And I just wanted to say that I appreciate them and they store their business across the street. Like I said, we're a family. They look out. Everything is fresh. I have no problem. I've been staying over there for years. I stay right across the street from the store, so I'm loving it. And yes, I feel that they deserve whatever they're trying to do. Thank you.
Name and address, ma'am, you have
Good
2 minutes.
morning. My name is Annie Long. My address is 18071 Falls Street. I am 80 years old. Sometimes I don't feel like going to the store. I could call them up. That's how good they are. And another thing, I have 5 children. They love their store. And when we pass by there, it's so lit up, it's so pretty. And when I walk in, I feels good. When you go to church, you feel good. But when you walk into a store, that got you feeling good, good music, good people, and I love them, and they will take care of us in the hood. So please, whatever y'all do, give it to them.
Thank you. Morning, ma'am. Name and address, you'll have 2 minutes.
My name is, excuse me. My name is Rolanda Williams. I live at 19187 Ashton Avenue, Detroit. This store is very, very clean. Before they moved in, it wasn't clean. And now everything is bright, shiny. It smells fresh. and I'm enjoying the new store. Thank you.
Thank you. Morning, ma'am. Get your name and address, please. You'll have 2 minutes.
Good morning, Nadine Watts, 17160 Halen, Detroit, Michigan, 48209. It's a community. We have enough liquor stores, but they set it apart. They have came in with big changes. What I did notice about the store is like a week or two before something expire, they give it away. They don't contain it. They give it away. They got a little basket or whatever, and they start putting there, it says free on it. They don't allow it to stay in the store. So that's one thing I did notice. The second thing I noticed, the improvement of the store, because on the side of San Helen, there was no lights. You could not see. It looked black on both sides. They have maintained good character with our community. I understand what they're saying about these stores. The responsibility of a community is when you give back. And I think by them giving back, like whether it's canned goods, they don't let things stay in the store. They rather give it away. So they lose in profit, but that's how open-hearted they are. They have a little free basket. It may be 2 baskets of stuff from beans, whatever, potato chips, whatever. They don't allow the expired things to stay in the store. So how many stores do that? I haven't seen it. So they do make a difference. And that's why I enjoy, I'm right around the corner from, it makes a big difference to the community. Somebody don't have something to eat. Somebody came in there and picked up beans, everything that was free. It was
15
no
seconds.
charge. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Anybody else left in the auditorium that would like to make public comment on 18850? Seeing nobody, will switch to our virtual participants. Anybody out there online that would like to make a public comment specific to 18850 West McNichols, please raise your hand. Public comment for 18850 West McNichols, please raise your hand by pressing Alt-Y keyboard or *9 for your Mac. See anybody, Director Abrams?
No hands.
Okay, nobody on line that wants to make virtual comments. We'll close virtual close public comment and go into, actually, I guess we did have one person in opposition. Does the petitioner wish to speak to the couple of comments that we had in opposition? Ms. Bryant?
Bear with me. I don't move like I used to. I'll be 72 Friday, so I'm not spring chicken, so it takes me a minute. But what I'd like to say though, and God is good, I'm moving. And I woke up and knew my name was Irma, so I'm doing good. What I'd like to say is that we did take a look at some of the comments. Of course, we're here directly for the spacing issue. Yes, there are 2 other ones, but they're not like ours. That's the point. They are involved. They're there to build something that will be maintained better than what is already there. And it would be a shame for them not to be in business when the other ones are. They've already demonstrated their concern. Their community has asked for this. The people who are actually impacted, having a store in walking distance, like the one person said that was in support, he didn't have to go all the way up to Southfield Road. It's a convenience for them. That's what we're here for, to make it so that our residents in the city I grew up in, has those services in their backyard. So I wanted to say that basically, with the letter that we received, we have one letter from the organization, but we have another organization which is even closer and more involved in support. The ones that's the closest to it are in support of this licensing of this business. Yes, we understand that liquor has its own challenges, but the bottom line is they're on it. They're not playing around with this, and they're making sure that they're putting money back into their business to maintain, stay in business, and be able to thrive so that that area has that services, the additional services, the cleaning. They've done that, and they're going to continue to do that. Like they say, you ask where they live, they're living in the store because that's where they're at 90% of the time. And so basically they're there and they want their business and their lives to be pleasant, just like they want it for their patrons. And that's why they're fighting to get this done, so that it can be a competitive source in the city to be able to maintain and stay there and not to have another business come through or have a blighted area, so that they have something that can show as an example of how to run a successful and caring business for the community. And so at this time, I do beg that you do approve this basic spacing grant. That's what it is basically about, spacing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, and just referring back to the support that we have from Valerie, she is the president of Stahalan Tiger Black Club. So she's the president. I think it's not specified in the letter what her title is, but she's the president of the club.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you can step back. We're going to go into board-only discussion now. So we're going to enter into board-only discussion, and just to, again, melt this down a little bit, what we're dealing with is just a spacing issue. And the reason that brings this up is because they want to add the sale of hard alcohol, the sale of liquor. So understand that this business isn't going anywhere. The business is there, it's existing, it's not going anyplace. They're already selling beer and wine, so that's not going to stop either. All they want to do is, have a competitive edge with a couple of the other neighborhood stores by being able to offer hard liquor just like those other two stores do. It certainly sounds like they're, we went from a bad actor previously in the building to a good operator who is already being a good corporate neighbor by giving back to the community. And I believe the testimony that we've heard today, because of all the support, I think it's pretty amazing to get 7 people, from their homes in the northwest side down to City Hall on a Monday morning. I think that's pretty amazing, along with all the other support that we've seen. And I believe that they're going to make the improvements that they've talked about with painting the building and dumpster enclosure and improvements to the alley and the parking lot. So personally, I'd be in favor of this, but we'll see what the board says. Member Watson.
It's commendable that the new owners of this establishment would reach out to the community and work with the community. And basically, they've done everything that anybody going into business would do, and that's maintain their property. However, liquor stores by nature comes with a lot of different problems, a lot of different problems. We have the retired director of planning and development, also a member of an association in the area, requesting that we deny. Based on her experience and on my own observation of liquor stores in any community, I do not believe that we should grant this petitioner the requested variance for a liquor store. As the director said, the past director said, in 8 blocks, you're going to have 3 liquor stores. Liquor stores are hard to maintain. There's an element with liquor stores. The zoning ordinance was established and it was put in place so you wouldn't have an over concentration of liquor stores in the community. Basically, we have always had an over concentration of liquor stores in the city of Detroit.
I would not be in favor of granting petitioners variance based on that fact.
Thank you, Member Watson. Member Bowman?
Yeah, and big differ. First of all, the very concept of, and I've heard this mantra in my own community, so it's not something unique here. The mantra of we don't need another liquor store begs the question of what is it that would determine too many or too few? And ultimately, the only objective criteria is the marketplace. And if there are too many, then someone's going to go out of business. It's a self-regulating matter. It does not even require any intervention. Now, the intervention exists in the form of this ordinance. However, we also are allowed to grant a variance that would then make an exception to the ordinance. And so, yes, the law has this limitation, and we also have are in a position where we're allowed to waive that limitation. Normally, when there is a pushback and I hear the words, something to the effect of we don't need another liquor store, I see, basically the effect snowballs and you get lots and lots of people all rallying to stop the liquor store. I don't see that here. I see quite the opposite. I see lots of people rallying to have the liquor store. Why? Because it also provides many other products. And if they're providing products that the other stores don't provide, thus making them a more attractive one-stop shop, then that's a benefit to those who wish to go there. And those who don't like it obviously don't have to go there. And the spacing probably is a bit too demanding, because I've heard from residents today talking about having to walk too far to get to the existing places where that beverage is sold. So I really see no rational reason to reject this request. And so I'm going to move that in the case of case number BZA 2026-00015 in
We
City
still need to
Council
speak.
District 1.
We still need to speak before you make that motion.
Member Sherman wants to make a comment.
And so do I, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Okay, I thought a motion was always welcome, but I'll hold.
Member Sherman?
So what I've heard today from several different residents' testimony, the owners, the applicants of the store, they do have a lot of support. Heard comments of good character. They give out free food. They're very neighborly. They keep the store clean. There's benefits to the community, fresh fruit, etc. I think that all of those are good things to have when operating the business. But I think that's as the business stands today. Without granting this license for the liquor, none of that stuff goes away. I do not believe that the applicant met criteria number 9, which asks what were the benefits to the other businesses in the area. I don't think that was even answered at all. And just by the spacing requirement in totality, I agree with Board Member Watson. We don't need another liquor store with the 8 blocks in the neighborhood. We certainly have an over-concentration of auto repair places and liquor stores in the city of Detroit. And Detroit has more than auto repair places and liquor stores, right? We have more than enough. Bring in some new businesses to thrive and push the city forward. I would be opposed to this variance.
System where you denying it.
Member Watson?
It's irrational.
I would just want to remind the board, request that the board simply think of liquor stores in their communities. And as we all have experienced liquor stores, We know the nature of liquor stores. We know the crimes associated with liquor stores. We know the litter and all the other problems that come with liquor stores. And we have to be cognizant of the fact that the zoning ordinance recognized that also. And they said, whoa, that's enough. We're not going to have an overconcentration of liquor stores in the city of Detroit. And we have to keep that in mind.
Yes.
Board Member Campbell, I do also agree with my fellow board members, Sherman and Watson. There is an overconcentration of liquor stores in the area. That's why the ordinance exists. I do not believe that, well, I'm not in favor of the variance. I don't believe that the business is unique. It does not accept food subsidies. We definitely recognize that the city is a food desert, but it's not a liquor desert. So it does not, I don't feel that it's helping to support the safety and well-being of the community. I think it would kind of have the opposite effect. Additionally, with liquor being served directly across the street from a rental hall, I do see that as a potential safety issue. And again, I am not in support of the variance.
Member Osborne.
So, great business. Thank you for all of the input. Here's what I'm thinking. As the chair stated, this is not the end of their business. The community did have good things to say about giving away food, engaging with the neighborhood. Yeah, a lot of support from community groups. Of course, we had one that came to speak in opposition, which, Member Watson, that does hold weight with me as well. And I don't think that anything good is going away if we don't grant the variance. I didn't hear, what I was looking for was a voice that said, we do need another liquor store. They already have the ability to sell beer and wine, which the other liquor stores have, but I didn't hear anybody that would sway me to believe we do need another liquor store within 8 blocks. So I would not be in favor of granting this variance because they still exist. The business will still exist. They'll still have the opportunity to sell food, to give away food to the community. They can still do what they have been doing. They can keep the building clean and they'll be fine.
Okay. Any other comment? Member Weed?
Board Member Weed, that I think that we have to take a look at exactly what the petitioner had put before us today with what their design was and what they wanted to do. And that it would seem to me that what they were doing would not be harmful to anyone in that community. And that they would just be competitive, so to speak, with the places that are already there. But this, from what they described about what their plan was, it seems like they are looking much more at what the people out in the neighborhood want and what they think that they need. And that's why they're doing their plan the way it is.
And I look at it, I guess, from a small business perspective. It's a rough world out there, for small businesses, and I think that to give them a competitive, a competitive, not even advantage, just a level playing field with those couple other local stores. I think is important, especially for somebody that is is a good operator and has made comments about their willingness to improve their site, which isn't required, but they've certainly talked about their willingness to improve their site and the area around it. And again, with the amount of of neighborhood public support that they have, that again, that's why I would be in favor. Member Carr?
I won't be redundant and repeat what my colleagues have said, but having lived in a neighborhood that was changed by a liquor store that came on the corner, they do make a difference in the community once liquor begins to be available. And I think the fact that we have a ordinance that tries to control the overconcentration of liquor stores or STD licenses that we have in the city available, we should consider that's there for a reason. And I would not be in favor of granting this request.
Can we look for a motion? Member Bowman?
Yes, and as I go into this motion, I'm a bit bothered by the idea that a handful of appointees believe they know better than dozens of community members who actually live in the vicinity of the institution. And looks like it's going to be voted down, but I'm going to make the motion anyway. It's got to be made. And I'm hoping some people might change their minds, but I'll go ahead. Okay, so I move to approve Atlas Consulting's request for a dimensional variance to add a specialty designated distributors use to an existing special designated merchants establishment in the existing 2,090 square foot building, approved with the conditions that BC set in case number SLU 2025-00082. And that was on a decision date of February 13th, 2026, effective in the business district. The Board of Zoning Appeals, that's us, are authorized to hear these dimensional variances. And that in this case, this is a matter where we are beyond the scope of building safety and engineering department's 10% administrative adjustments for variances of minimum setbacks per section 50-4432 due to following two controlled uses being located within 2,000 radial feet of the subject site. A waiver for overconcentration shall be required, and I move that we support such a waiver. This is and that they were doing this prior to Rosedale Liquor at 18149. Oh, those are the other ones. Okay, there are other stores. One is Rosedale Liquor, 1,757 feet away. The other one's Park Lane Liquors, 890 feet away. Sections, I believe they have met the approval criteria of section 50-4-121, permitted dimensional variances, and 50-4-121 approval criteria, including one, that the requested variance is consistent with the master plan and the spirit, purpose, and intent of that chapter, that the practical difficulties that prevent them from carrying out the strict letter of this chapter have been addressed, that the requested variance or administrative adjustment would eliminate a practical difficulty. Oh my. I have all this turned off and somehow it's doing it anyway. And that it would explain how the requested variance or administrative adjustment will have no significant adverse impact on health, safety, or general welfare of surrounding property owners or the general public or upon natural environment, that they have explained how any adverse impacts resulting from the variance or administrative adjustments will be mitigated to the maximum extent practicable, that they have shown that the requested variance or administrative adjustment required to compensate for some unusual aspect of the site provided development that was not shared by landowners in general. Yet they explained how the special circumstances and conditions account for the need for a variance or administrative adjustment not resulting of the actions. That they explained how the variance or administrative adjustment will not permit the establishment within a zoning district of any use which is prohibited within the district, and that they explained how the variance or administrative adjustment will do substantial justice to the community as well to property owners in the district, and how a lesser relaxation would not give substantial relief to them. And finally, this is private property.
Okay, got a motion. Can I get a second?
I second.
Motion properly seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Aye. Nay.
Roll
Do a
call.
roll call, please. Board Member Sherman,
Nay.
Board Member Watson,
Nay.
Board Member Campbell,
Nay.
Board Member Carr,
Nay.
Board Member Weed,
Aye.
Board Member Bowman,
Aye.
Board Member Parker,
Aye.
Board Member Osborne,
Nay.
Chairperson Roberts.
Aye.
We have 5 noes, 4 yeses. The motion to grant has failed. BZA case 2026-00015, Atlas Consulting requesting dimensional variances to add a specially designated distributed license used to an existing specially designated merchants establishment that has failed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Could you please call the next case? And the chair
BZA
recognizes.
BZA case 33-25, City Council District Number 6. BZA petitioner is Ahmed Harajali. The location is 8633 Michigan between Lawndale and Trenton in a B4 zone general business district. Ahmad Harajali requests dimensional variances for the expansion of an approved non-conforming use by modifying previous BZA case 11-24, which established a 962 square foot non-conforming used auto sales lot. The addition will be 4,055 square feet, and the house a retail office use in a B4 zone. We will now hear from Inspector Peerboy.
Thank you, Director. We are hearing this case because the Board of Zoning Appeals shall be authorized to hear dimensional variance requests for matters that are beyond the scope of the building department's 10% administrative adjustments for a variance of minimum setbacks. The variance needed for this case is deficient parking. Hearing this case under section 54-121-131-1, permitted dimensional variances and approval criteria of 54-121. Hearing this case under the legal description attached, our attorney will assess ownership. The Planning and Development's report, which was revised on March 17th, 2026, states the petitioner is requesting dimensional variances for non-conforming use. The board granted the non-conforming use expansion under case 11-24. They had to come back to the board for these dimensional variances, and it is because they haven't used auto sales, but they would like to add a retail component to the subject property. The revised site plan was submitted on March 17th, 2026. The building is on the south side of Michigan Avenue. Per the site plan, 27 parking spaces are provided. There's 12 display spaces for the used auto sales, and there are 13 parking spaces, including 2 handicap accessible spaces and 1 shared access aisle. A new dumpster enclosure has been provided on the western property line. Drainage, right-of-way screening, and residential screening have been provided on the southern property line. The deficiencies, again, are under section 5014-52, off-street parking for office, business, or professional, and section 5014-58, retail sales and service. 1 space per 200 square feet of gross floor area, or 10 additional parking spaces are required for the retail space. 1 space per 400 square feet of gross floor area, or 5 additional parking spaces are required for the office space. Per the site plan, 27 parking spaces are provided. There are 12 for the display spaces and 3 custom parking spaces for the used auto sales. 12 new parking spaces are proposed. They have a 3-space deficiency that they're here before the board. When they revised their site plans, they addressed the loading. That has been addressed. It's no longer deficient. They also addressed the interior landscaping. So again, the case is before the board for a dimensional parking variance for an approved non-conforming use that has used auto sales, but they also would like to have, they have an approval for auto sales and retail, but they're before the board for a 3 parking space deficiency. And the subject property is located on Michigan Avenue between Lawndale and Trenton. The legal use is used auto sales and retail that the board granted the expansion for the non-conforming use. This is the front view of the subject property. View looking down Michigan Avenue, looking to the west. Block opposite on Michigan Avenue, looking to the east down Michigan. This is the east side of the property on Trenton, looking into the site. View looking down the frontage of the site on Michigan Avenue, looking to the west. Looking down Trenton Street, residential street, looking to the south. Subject properties to the right on the screen. This is a view into their site from Trenton Street, looking towards the west. Back up towards Michigan and Trenton Street, commercial properties exist. Long view down the frontage of the property, down Michigan, looking to the west. Block opposite, commercial businesses. This is a view of the actual building on site, but again, there will be an expansion to the site that the board already granted. The case is before the board for a 3-space deficiency. View of the parking area as exists now, looking to the west towards Lawndale Street. View to the rear of the site towards the alley to the south. Again, this is the building as it exists. Long view looking down the frontage of the property, down Michigan to the west. And block opposite. Again, the case is before the board for a 3-space parking deficiency. The board granted the expansion of the used auto sales to include retail, but they have a 3-space deficiency that they need waived by the board. And that completes the visuals, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Inspector, for your report. Director Brown, do you see the petitioner online?
Looks like, no, I do not.
Okay, is there anybody online that's here to speak about 8633 Michigan Avenue?
What we do in this case is issue final notice.
Or is anybody online that is here to speak about 8633 Michigan Avenue? Please raise your hand.
Mr. Chairman, take a 2-minute recess.
Okay, we'll recess for 2 minutes. Have a good day.
Oh, oh, yeah. Why wouldn't I be okay? Well,
That last one last.
this is all about people looking at different ways that they resolve things. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the whole idea, what that area is, the different kind of places there, and the whole general area is not sufficing many different things.
Stores, I'm just telling you.
Embarrassed us.
You made the right motion.
Embarrassed us.
You made the right motion.
I knew at some point they was gonna get tired of it, but
Yeah.
it was like that at all.
But it's just not kind of crazy, Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Right. Right. But the history of all of the changes they made to make things more available for people that are there, that was a whole different approach to the other places. All they cared about was, we got the liquor, you got another place to go, buy it here, we don't care, you know. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, that'll give them a good argument to appeal to this legal.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I contacted the petitioner, did not get an answer. Let's try one more time to see if he's on. Is Ahmed or the petitioner for 8633 Michigan online? Mr. Chairman, we do not have a petitioner. We can dismiss or adjourn the case. It's your choice.
Aren't they here?
Final notes would be, send them a note. They will speak, get a hearing.
Wasn't this,
Yeah, because they've been here before, right?
Yeah. What's up?
Mr. Chairman, we need to adjourn this case with a fee.
Okay. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we got 5. Okay, call the meeting back to order. And the petitioner has not shown up, so can I get a motion to adjourn with fee, BZA case 3325?
I make a motion to adjourn case 3325, City Council District Number 6 with a fee.
Okay.
I second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
BZA case 3325, Ahmed Harajali requests dimensional variances for the expansion of approved non-conforming use previously approved by the BZA to establish a non-conforming use. Auto lot sales has been adjourned with fee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And we'll move into public comment. If you're in the auditorium and would like to make general public comment, please step up to the podium. The chair recognizes former chair. How are you today?
Hey, just because I'm here, I might as well just say something to the board. I've never been on this side before. Robert Thomas, you don't need my address here on public comment. But it's great to see you guys. You guys are doing a heck of a job here. Keep up the good work. I think I met 2 of the new board members, not the third one, Ms. Parker, but yeah, great job, guys. Chair, you know, you had 2 members over here that had their hand up for a while. You need to recognize them, but
Hello.
outside of that, hey, great job, guys. Been on the board for 13 years. Chair is 9, and I had to roll off due to employment. But great job. Keep doing what you guys are doing. I know it's a thankless job. No one really understands that. But keep up the good work. See you guys later.
Hey, you missed our 9-hour community appeal, thanks.
Oh, no, I did not miss that.
All right, any other, I don't see any other participants for public comment in the auditorium, so we'll switch to general public comment for any of our virtual participants. If you're online and you'd like to make a general public comment, please raise your hand. See anybody directly around?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we'll close out public comment. Any new business?
Reminder that on July 13th will be the BZA training. We will also have the continued hearing of the BZA rules and procedures. At the end of June, you will receive the agenda and the rules and procedures in draft. You will also receive all of the public comment. You will also receive a recording of the training. I do believe that Attorney Savage will give a brief overview, not a detailed overview, so it's going to be your responsibility to listen to the recording, to get caught up, and to read the community comments that will be provided to you. Please be prepared at the hearing on the 13th to discuss any concerns, questions, or changes that you may have at that time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Our next hearing date is going to be June 8th, 2026. We do not meet next week because of the Memorial holiday. So happy holiday, everybody. Enjoy your families, and hopefully you're able to get out of town. Any advisements, Director Brown?
No advisement. Oh, we do have finally a full board complement. So thank you, board members. And there are a couple of you who will be expiring this year. So I will be contacting your council member. If you are interested, make sure you contact them directly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any old business?
No old business.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. See you in a couple.